Hello and welcome to another modelling video. This is Alan from the Economan at YouTube with another model video. Today, unboxing, building, finishing and reviewing the A10 Thunderbolt 2x4D in 1/144 scale. Manufactured and shipped from China. The box was not included as a popular cost-cutting method over there and among collectors. To save on both shipping and production costs, the wholesaler will actually offer this to businesses as well. The model contains 2 runners and a handful of parts, base components which were broken in shipping, and instructions in Chinese, black and white with a single step and multiple speech bubbles. The model is unpainted, injection molded in styrene and bought for only a couple of US$. Marketed more as a toy and 3D puzzle than a scale model, I imagine the parts were injection molded in a far smaller tooling with a far smaller machine for an affordable option to the hobby. It is marketed towards children as an educational and sometimes propaganda model. Even in single parts, the nubs are very prevalent and they are cleaned up with a knife and sanded back. They can just be snap fit without issue, though I chose to glue them together with plastic cement. As common with fairly cheap models or even older tooling, there's quite a few seams, very deep panels and even weird connecting points that go through the parts that are visible. I've covered this with Mr. Dissolved putty and sanded it back. The design does try to be as clever as humanly possible by snapping all the parts sideways and making up panels with as little to sandwich parts as possible. Among the entire range, 40 can be completely hit and miss with proportions and detail. I have to say this one really passes and is quite ideal for wargaming or even just a fun, silly collectible. The A10, known as the Warthog, is a cult pop culture symbol. I absolutely admit that I wanted to build it and bought it for the meme and possible popularity in posting it onto the channel, and also partly as a reseller of 4D and being familiar with a more aircraft subject. I was not disappointed and actually enjoyed the build quite a bit. It's a good alternative to other small scale A10s like the Academy one, which can be very tricky to build and tricky to source, though it can't be compared with larger proper scale ones. If you were just snap building it, you would probably get half an hour to hour of fun, clean up and whatnot. Went over 2 days, and I may have sunk about 2 to 3 hours in the building process with another couple painting. What really personally drew me to this build is being in 1/144 scale, the same set as my Gundam models, and would like to think that it could actually fight, if not defeat them, canon and specs wise. So in the comment section down below, if you reckon an A10 can beat a Gundam or mobile suit, let me know. My favourite aspect is all the armaments that are included, and found it interesting that the landing gear was also transparent, but having a clear canopy is quite nice, a bit tricky to mask. The broken base was not difficult to cement back into place and was a nice addition, as most aircraft models do not include a base to have it in flight mode. You could also not include landing gear if you want. Dialing up Google, I got fascinated by the Arctic scheme, also considered the desert or woodland scheme. The grey was just too boring for such a small scale and really pops with detail and decals. I've hit the whole surface with surface automotive lacquer primer with automotive leveling thinner via a 0.5mm airbrush. Found the surface to be very smooth and free of texture, no faults in my seam filling or removing of faults from the model. Aircraft is far from my interest or expertise, so I sort of roughly eyeballed the colours. They're not accurate, and I know you can buy them or find them, but didn't really care that much. And did whatever looked cool in multiple tones of shading. The belly was a couple of sea greys, the top a snowy white and off grey, and then followed that up with a military armour dark green. The camouflage was done freehand via a 0.3mm airbrush with a breezy tip for fine lines. It was thinned down to a very viscous state and slowly lined out off the reference material. NATO black as the third colour. The next step was the armament, and having a Tamiya 48 scale kit on hand, I looked at the box art and reference for all the various colours of missiles, bombs and pods. I could not tell you what's what or exactly what they do, but I recognised their profile and rough colours and hand painted each of them, and went to the point of if they had a coloured tip or a little extra detail, took the trouble to replicate it so it looked okay from afar or quick glance. Pretty fun. Moved on to other details such as black for the tyres on the runway and snapping on the canopy. Everything brushed on was with thinned lacquers. Next step is weathering and definition. I just thinned down some Tamiya panel line accent colour with a slow drying gum turpentine, which gave me ample time to wipe up excess or any mistakes. This popped nicely due to the deep panels. Again, not being equipped for aircraft, I only had these larger American Air Force insignias. They are cartooningly big, but beat pretty much having nothing, and save the trouble of ordering stuff and waiting for it months to come in, or even paying money. After 24 hours of setting and drying, I gave a couple of coats of dusted matte clear varnish to dull down the sheen. Yeah, for a quick silly build and just dipping my toes in aircraft, which I almost know nothing about, and please definitely forgive me. I am sure I've committed a lot of hobby sins, but I'm extremely happy how this turned out and looks. As always, I have fun with my 4D builds and just can't help but recommend it, and obviously knowing what you're getting into and the shortcomings with it. If your intent is to spend virtually no money and have maximum amount of fun, definitely worth lapping it up, and a lot of other aircraft subjects. I've always thought with their snap ability and almost toy-like nature that it would have been extremely janky, though this and a friend building the Tomcat that has the retractable wings, I'm fairly impressed and wouldn't be surprised if I reached out and attempted to build another one that I've also found pretty cool. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, until next time, stay tuned for further content. Check out the social media links and references down below. We'll catch you guys next time. See you later.